how to master your one-handed shooting. I'm Coach Sam. I'm your shot doctor and basketball trainer. And in this video, we're going to talk about every single step that you need to master your one-handed shot and become a great shooter. And if you stay to the very end of the video, I will show you in action me personally shooting one-handed shots from the free throw line, consistently hitting using the steps and the tips and suggestions that I've given you throughout the video. The first thing that we are doing is a concept that I have developed that I call the lazy arm swing. What this is, it's going to put our shooting hand, in this case, my left hand, in the correct and most natural position when it comes to shooting. So just like it's called, we are going to walk in a lazy manner. And then I will put up my shooting hand in a natural, comfortable position. As you can see, my shooting hand is not directly here. It's a little bit off to the side. This is my most natural and comfortable way to bring up my shot in my one hand. The lazy arm swing concept will get you to figure out the most natural position for your shooting arm. So that is step number one, is to figure out where our shooting hand and where our shooting arm is going to be, specifically with where our elbow placement and our overall arm placement. I've got a nice L here, 90 degrees. My wrist is back, but it's not in the middle of my body and it's not out. It's in this comfortable angle right here. Step number two, I'm going to pay attention to where my pointer finger is in relation to my forehead. As I bring up my shooting arm, I'm looking at my pointer finger and I'm seeing that it's right at the top of my left eyebrow. Right above that, if I were to bring it back, I'm hitting right there. So this is where I want to be when I go to release the ball. I don't want to bring it behind my head. I don't want to dip and start my movement too low. I bring it up, and this is going to be a consistent release point that I can repeat over and over again. Some common mistakes is that you might have your elbow too far in. You might have your whole wrist in front of your head. We just want that pointer finger to give us the target, and we can still see clearly. We have a nice window here where I can see the basket still. I'm not covering up my eyes with my whole wrist and my arm. Okay, now that we know the most comfortable and repeatable position for our shooting arm, we now want to add the ball and go through what I call a 3-step process to shoot the ball. Step number one, you will have the ball straight out in front, your arms straight, your legs are straight, we're in a straight position. Step number two is what I call our locked and loaded position. We're going to go from straight arm out, bending at both the elbow and our leg. I've brought up and recognized my release point with my elbow, and now I add that basketball on top of it. My legs are bent, and I can see over the top of the ball. If the ball is too high and we have to look under it, we're not going to have enough power that I want to generate when I go to shoot the ball. We also want to make sure that the ball is in a L position here and that it's not too far forward. I've got my wrist bent back so that I'm comfortable here. And the ball's not falling forward or back. Hang on, before we move on, I want to remind you guys about the launch of the individual personal training Facebook group. Here's what you get by joining the group. I've got a 100-page document of tons of shooting drills that you can apply to yourself right away. You will be able to upload your videos, and I will give you my breakdown and my feedback for you to become a better shooter. Next, we will have a weekly question and answer section. I will go live on there, and you can come on there and you can ask any questions. Hit the link below to join. The next thing I want you guys to make sure that you're doing is that you have a little bit of a gap in between the ball and your palm. So we have a nice gap here. It's not lying on our palm, and we can see right here a little bit of a hole. We can see some daylight. Make sure that it's not on your palm like this. I can't see any daylight here, and we're not going to have as good of control because we'll be pushing with our palm. Instead, we want to think about pushing with our finger pads and our fingertips. And now step 3 with our 3-step process, we're going to shoot the ball. It all needs to be one fluent motion. So we're step 1, straight out in front. Step 2, locked and loaded. My knees are bent. My arm is locked and loaded. I can see over the front of the ball. And then step 3, and I'm shooting it at the rim. Step 1, 2, 3. The next thing I want to talk about when it comes to shooting and one-handed shooting is going to be our footwork. A lot of coaches might be teaching you about 10 toes pointed at the rim, but if you watch the absolute best shooters shoot, they will not have 10 toes pointed at the rim. Instead, they will have a slight turn to the side in order to help line them up correctly with the rim. We don't shoot the ball from the middle of our body. We should not have 10 toes pointed at the rim. We want a slight turn. As a left-handed shooter, I'm slightly turning to my right side. And then when we go to shoot the ball, I want you to think about going at the rim. As long as you have the ball in the correct spot on your shooting hand, you will have enough natural arc. Do not be a player that focuses so much on arc that you are shooting the ball up. If your fall through is too much up here, your ball will be too high and you will not have very good control of it. You will not have very good accuracy. The best shooters in the world do not shoot the ball up at the sky. They shoot it right at the rim, and they have natural arc on their shot due to where they place the ball on their shooting hand. And then really the last thing I want you to think about when you shoot is falling forward at the rim. You should not be falling backwards, and you should not just think about jumping and landing in the same spot, whether it's an outside shot or a free throw. You should be shooting it and falling at the rim. So watch me shoot these one-handed free throws, and you'll see me fall forward as it hits the rim. If you've learned anything in this video, if I've helped you out in any way, hit the subscribe button. I post videos every single week about basketball shooting, training, your mentality. My goal on this channel is to help you to become the best player that you can become. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys on the next video.